Doncaster's new charter sets out a vision for the urban renaissance or rebirth of the town. Unlike its ancient counterparts, it grants no rights or privileges, but creates a vision for the town's future development.
We need to change the image and perceptions of the town.
It's the creation of a town team who in 3 months have spent more than 60 hours in seminars, workshops and candid debate. They looked painstakingly at the challenges facing Doncaster and were supported by over 250 local people and 24 consultants, some from as far away as New York.
We need to build on Doncaster's rich history and traditions.
The Charter is a blueprint for the next 25 to 50 years.
Let's mend the wounds created by traffic engineering in recent decades.
And it demands a new respect for the built environment of the town and the townships around. It challenges Doncaster's citizens to help create a beautiful and sustainable town. But why is the town team so adamant and so demanding?
We must ensure that Doncaster is attractive to all businesses, from large to small and from retail to high technology.
Because they know that in today's world, capital and talent are highly transportable. Companies, entrepreneurs and key workers won't move to or stay in unsuccessful environments. And neither will tourists or visitors. They will simply spend their money where there is more on offer. The Charter arrives at a time of a new optimism and great promise. 5 major new projects at varying stages between the drawing board and reality are set to have a significant impact.
Let's make Doncaster a location of choice in the 21st century.
Finningley has been described as Yorkshire's best chance of an international airport in 100 years.
The town centre needs reconnecting with the waterways.
The waterfront development on a 75-acre site could become a major tourist attraction within a decade. The Town Moor project will see the world-famous racecourse refurbished, a new grandstand, a 4-star hotel and an exhibition and conference centre.
We need cheap and regular public transport, particularly at night.
A new interchange will improve public transport and bring new retail space.
We would like annual arts events and festivals which anyone can take part in.
The Art House, a new performance venue in Waterdale, will become the cornerstones of a new cultural and civic quarter. But optimism alone can't make up for the urban decline that has followed Doncaster's industrial setbacks of the 1980s and 90s. Recognising this, the Regional Development Agency, Yorkshire Forward, financed the setting up and training of a volunteer town team to develop a people's vision for the future. But a cynic would say, what's different about it?
It's different because we are thinking 20, 25 years ahead. We are primarily concerned with quality, and we are very much determined to work with and for the community through their town teams. That's different, that's new.
The Doncaster Town Team was formed in January 2002 and spent the next 3 months studying how successful towns and cities work, how they're organised, and what makes them sustainable.
It's really useful to be involved at this early stage of really the renaissance of Doncaster, to see all the different organisations coming together and sharing ideas and their vision of the future in a joined up way, which makes a change for us.
And as the local team worked from grassroots up, international consultants, urban initiatives, took on the role of outsiders looking in. But these were no ordinary outsiders. They brought first-hand experience of regenerating urban areas around the world. As the process unfolded, guest speakers contributed to a series of seminars promoting new ideas and debate.
We're going to make Doncaster Europe's most sustainable borough.
Jonathan Smales, founder and former director of the Earth Centre, stressed the added value of sustainable development.
You can have bad developments that are successful economically but cause tremendous harm to the environment.
The process peaked in an urban renaissance weekend. 4 days of workshops and walkabouts addressing specific issues raised by the town team.
Right now in the area I live, the bulk of people don't go into Doncaster to shop. They turn left and go off towards Sheffield or whatever, to a place called Meadowhall that, I've parked outside of it once. I'll never go again. I don't want to go to big places like that. I want my town. to grow. And it will do if everything that we're talking about now comes to fruition. And I don't see any reason why it shouldn't.
In a fascinating workshop entitled The Young City, James Kopp worked with youngsters who gave their own vision of the town they want.
We want a place where posh and Becks would like to shop.
Professor Eddie Friel, the man who helped turn Glasgow from urban dereliction into a European city of culture, explained how successful towns and cities market themselves. Doncaster's tourist offer was examined, and so too was its successful evening economy. And after proving they could talk the talk, consultants and town team members walked the walk. Doncaster Market and its surroundings were a big talking point. And not surprisingly, the market traders didn't hesitate to tell it like it is.
It used to be 25 years ago.
It's too far to walk over that road. I mean, even as a working here on the market, I don't like walking over there with my shopping bags. Right. I'll fetch the car. I can fetch the car.
The market over the last 25 years, how it's deteriorated to a quarter of what it was. It's one of the biggest markets in Europe. Now it's just like a corner store. They just come here when they want something when they can't get from anywhere.
Talking's great, but it's action that we need. And it was talking about the market being fragile, and it is fragile. It's at a critical stage now. If it goes down any further, then it will be irrecoverable.
Whilst the town team paid particular attention to the unrealised potential of the town centre, they also looked at its often unappreciated elegance. By looking closely at what has survived from the days before railways and coal mines, it was easy to see why Doncaster was once regarded as one of Yorkshire's finest county towns. The weekend ended with a workshop, where the team told the consultants and officers and members of the council what they felt local people wanted in the charter.
I was absolutely thrilled at the feedback over the whole weekend, and particularly this morning, because I think what it shows is if you give people the opportunity and give them the chance to look at their own town, to discuss it, and to debate it together, and debate it in groups of people who never ever talk to each other, you realise how many people get it, and how many people have similar problems, and how many people believe the solutions to be more or less the same, even if they're elderly people living out in Bessica, or they're young people who are at school at 13 years old, or they're market traders, or they're bus drivers, cab. There's so many people understand why Doncaster is good, and they also understand the parts of it that aren't.
That we've set up a town team, and we've done a tremendous amount of consultation with the public at large. Quite deliberately so, and that is part of the council's policy these days, so that what it comes up with can't be ignored. That's one thing. Even if some of the things we won't necessarily be able to have the power to do something about.
Charters are not new to Doncaster, but this is the first one dictated by the people of the town.
Because every time I've worked with the local communities in Doncaster over the last 10 to 12 years, they've never let us down with their commitment and their enthusiasm for the future of their town.
So, was writing it going to be a daunting task?
Well, it's a very daunting task, because thing about a charter is that it sets the framework for what needs to be done from tomorrow for the next 25, 30 years. And not only has it got to have purely and simply factual things that need to be done, but it has to be an emotional thing. It has to be a thing that fires people up, a thing that people can use and they can share and they can continue to evolve. And so the charter is a bit daunting, but it's not daunting for the lack of information and the lack of ideas. It's actually daunting because we have so much.
But many of the charter's recommendations could have been written for any town in the UK. How might they actually affect Doncaster? Let's look at the Inner Ring Road, designed in the 1940s and built 25 years later in the 60s. It's a busy road. It's fenced off, and it's unfriendly to pedestrians.
And the importance of the street as the connector, it's the thing that drives the lifeblood of cities.